Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. Hey, this market is a little bit crazy right now, I would have to say. In crypto, holy cow, I don't even like to look at the stock cube, even though I love it. But I have it set up with crypto, and it is definitely red and down. So if you haven't looked at crypto, it is crypto right now. It's crypto. Bitcoin's at 91,941. Solana's at 139 right now. So these things are dipping, and I mean dipping there. Ethereum's down at 2,491, so we'll have to see how low that they go. And let's take a look and see what the rest of the market's going to do. And of course, let's find what's going to be popping. And we always find what's popping. STEC, RILY, definitely went over them two last night. We're poppers today. So we do find the poppers and go through them and know exactly what's going on in the market. So here we go. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And here we go. Let's rock and roll right through our list. Let me know if you guys want to see anything. If there's something on the list that you guys want to look at, and we'll get cruising here. OCEA, a little tiny pullback today. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to lie. It's still in the basement. And with a day like today, you just don't expect anything to really be popping hard, but it is just pulling back a little bit, OCEA, and it's not that bad, and it's still in a good spot right here. It just needs to curl back up and get moving and get up to that 20, which is at like 17 cents, and we're at 12 right now. So OCEA still has a chance to get moving right there. And good old Holo, HOLO, this bad boy was pulling back today. It looked pretty good. And after a weekend, you have to be careful with these guys. And we were saying that last night. It was in that channel and looking good. And then today, it just decided to pull back here. Good old HOLO. And it went from 151 to 194 at one point. It did spike up. Maybe that was early because it closed down at 116 and it did pull back. It didn't cross down the MACD. So maybe it tries to bounce back up tomorrow. And it does look like it's a little bit of pullback there and nothing too crazy, but it did run up. I'm guessing it ran up in the pre-market there. I'm not even sure if I noticed that earlier. But there you go, a holo and BHAT, BHAT. Let's see what that one's doing. That one is just kind of flat right there. It was down 3%. Nothing crazy, but it does look like it's trying to set back up to roll off that MACD. So we will keep an eye on BHAT right here because it does look like it's trying to set up at least. And obviously, the market's jacked up all over the place. So we'll keep an eye on it and see if it is really trying to set up. And that LRHC, that was trying to get set up. It's in a really good spot, guys. It was just flat today. It was running up there on Friday, I remember. And again, after the weekend, you never know, especially right now. I mean, it's just so volatile and everything's an overreaction like crazy right now. There's a lot of reactions going on. Let's put it that way. So LRHC, it is trying to get cruising up here. That 20 is up at 32 cents, and it is trying to get moving. So keep an eye on that bad boy tomorrow, LRHC. And good old S dot, that was down 3 cents, but it wasn't too bad. I'm not going to lie. Let me look and see exactly what it did here. 329 to 345. And then it came down to 312, but it closed at 333. And like I said, it was trying to get through that 50 right there. And we'll see if it can. If not, it might have to stay in that channel. It should have got through it, but the market's just not letting it. So maybe it'll come back down a little bit, pull back some, and then get cruising. We'll look at it tomorrow and see what it's doing. But that SDOT not looking bad right there. And that AIM, AIM, or yeah, AIM. This one was just running a little more flat. It was down a little bit, 14 down to 13, nothing crazy. And it was hitting that line probably for the first time, so might not get through immediately. This one has the potential just because it's working on that bird flu thing with AstraZeneca or whatever, and it did make that base down here and bottomed out. It looks like at that 12 cents. We'll have to see if it really bounces off of this MACD right here to get set up even better for the next time to curl through. So we'll keep an eye on AIM, see what it wants to do right there. And that OCGN was down 5 cents. They have their earnings coming up, and it definitely couldn't get through on a day like today and decided to pull right back down. So I think it's going to be a more dip and setup situation to get moving again. So keep an eye on it. Just crossed right down today. And again, they have their earnings coming up next week. March 5th, I believe, is next week. Should be somewhere around there next Wednesday. And yeah, so OCGN, we'll keep an eye on it. It is going to hit that bottom right there, and we'll see if it wants to bounce. And then they have their earnings coming up. So we'll see what that wants to do tomorrow, OCGN. And they have earnings next week, but it could try to bounce off that bottom right there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. SYRS, let's see what that's up to right here. That one is pulling back as well with the rest of them. I mean, everything's kind of a disaster right now. And it's not looking bad, though, honestly. It could be a little dip and rip situation. So keep an eye on this. It actually doesn't look bad on my chart at all today. And today is the 24th. I just wanted to make sure that was the right day. But yeah, SYRS, not looking bad. I'll have to check that out. It looks like it's trying to set up right there. And I'll have to take a look at that in the morning. What did I just hit? Holy cow. I just hit something crazy and just made my screens all go down. I just put my arm, I guess, on the keyboard and everything went blank. That was pretty interesting. I don't know if I ever did that before. But anyway, here we go. SYRS. It came back up and it is just looking good on my chart, pulling back on the FinViz. I'll look at it tomorrow for sure. And I was marking it, and that's when I hit the keyboard. So I don't even know what I hit, but whatever. Clue, here we go. It's CLEU. Did pull back a little more today. And I'm telling you, this thing just hitting the line. It just keeps pulling back and back, and it's right there. It's hitting the line. So I guess tomorrow should be its day. And I was watching it today, and I was like, wow, it's amazing how these things just keep pulling back as they're setting up. We were talking about it. You have to be uber patient right now. I mean, you're talking like the last day possible for it to get the going through the MACD or hitting anything is the day that you're probably going to want to buy it, as might be that low today at that 8.5 cents. So, and it is in the eights right now. Clue, CLEU. So yeah, it just continued to pull back right there as it was curling up. We've seen that before, and we'll see if it can cross through and get blasting off here, because again, it's just riding that bottom line right there, and they do love to get blasting off of that line. They love them lines to just get popping. So we'll have to take a look at that because it's right there for tomorrow. And that is CLEU. And LICN, that was trying to move today and it pulled back. It was moving last week and it didn't get out of the basement today, LICN. So let me take a look and see what it's doing. It did get over that 28 to 9. It came back to 7 and closed at that 8. And it's really like right under 8 cents right there. It's in the sevens. But it is over to 20. It's sitting right on the 20 basically, and not looking bad for tomorrow. Maybe the small cap Chinas will stocks will start to run again tomorrow. And they just weren't ready over the weekend to get cruising today. So they took a 3-day weekend, I guess. So we'll take a look at that one as well. But yeah, you want to look at Clue and LICN. They're not looking too bad right there. And Buru, Nubaru, let's look at it. It is jumped up on Friday, pulling back today, down 7 cents. And let's see what it's doing here. Yeah, it's we'd have to look at it tomorrow. It's not even over to 20 right now, and it's just hitting it, so it could pull back a little bit more right there for BURU. And UPS is down 17 cents. It's hitting that 20. Could pull back. It ran up a little bit for us. It was nothing really crazy, but it did move up a little bit for us there. And today it ran from what, 116 to 118 and pulled back to 115. It's at 116.15. It closed under where it opened, I know that. And it did spike up, but yeah, just looking for that pullback there for UPS probably to get set back up. But it did run up a little bit there. And ELF, that one ran up and actually tried to get out of the basement today, crossed through and didn't look bad. So Elf still looks pretty good right here to try to run up some more, 75.99 to 76.72, and it's at 75.32. So it is down a little bit, but again, it looks like it tried to get out of the basement right there. It's in one of them spots where it could pull itself back in, but I doubt it. It did cross through and it's looking much better. So Elf did run up there. We kind of knew that bottomed out and ran up for us. So that was good and look for it to try to run up a little bit more. Good old Lockheed Martin hit that 20 today. It did run up though. It went what 442 to like 448 area. LMT 444 to 448. Yep, that's exactly what it did. And then its low was 438 and that's where it closed. So it did hit that 20 up there and exactly what we wanted it to do. It ran up perfectly for us. And now it's probably it might pull back just because everything's a disaster. Usually that would continue to go through, but it's just not going to do it at the moment. Everything's hitting some kind of line and just stopping. Advanced Auto Parts was down 63 cents. They do have their earnings coming up. And like I was saying, wait for their earnings. Their earnings are 2 days from now on Thursday, I believe. No, Wednesday, the 26th. Yeah, not tomorrow, on Wednesday. And so we'll keep an eye on it. I think it's going to get bouncing for the earnings. So that's what the look is. It's all the way down. Usually when they're down here, they like to bounce. The earnings could be as red as anything, like a tomato, and it'll bounce because of where it's at. And I've seen them so green and at the top that the earnings are green and they just come down. So they basically do exactly that almost all the time. So we'll look at it for another day or so and see what it wants to do here as it comes up to them earnings. HEPA here, HEPA, this one was just kind of flat today. Not a whole lot of movement. I don't know what the numbers were, but I looked at it 17 to 18 down to 16, closed at 17. So yeah, it wasn't moving a whole lot when I looked at it, and it does look pretty flat right here. Not bad. It has a little bit of pullback, but it wasn't terrible. So I can look at that and see if it's trying to get set up tomorrow. And a lot of these, like I said, just didn't do much today. Or they pulled back a little bit. AEHL, the old antelope, pulled back a penny, but that actually kind of pulled back a little bit more there. It was what 14 down to 12, and that's where it closed. So yeah, that one pulled back. We'll see what the antelope wants to do right there. And True Golf was actually looking good today. We were talking about it on that small cap show. If you guys were tuned in, appreciate it with Wolf and the guys. And yeah, I know Story Trading likes this one. Ben, he's a great dude. And we've been talking about this, and it is going up. It was up 2 cents. It had run up to like 52 cents at one point, got over that 50, and it's curled up looking much better. And remember the other day we talked about it on the 19th. It hit that resistance up here at like 62 cents. It got through it, but it just couldn't hold it. And then it pulled back, got in the channel, and it does look much better. So it could be trying to get set up to tee off right here. And that is our True Golf TRUG. And you know that we watched this thing a few times tee off over 100%. So I don't know if it's going to run 100%. We'll see. It has some run in it, I'll tell you that. And so we'll watch it. And that's TRUG, good old True Golf right there. And UOKA. Let's see what that one's doing because this one's been just running around. And I'm telling you, this thing's getting set up, guys. And you might want to keep an eye on this UOKA right here because it's looking pretty good. It ran up yesterday, it ran up a few other times. And it is looking really, really good right here. Remember yesterday it ran up to what? 28 cents from 17. Today it's 17 up to 18. Now it's at 16. But it does appear to be just kind of flat, but setting up in a good spot right there, guys. Going to roll off the MACD. And this is one of them real estate ones in the UK, but it is setting up the run. So keep an eye on this UOKA. We've watched it for not a while. It's called MDJM, but the stock ticker used to be like MDJ something. It wasn't an M, but it was another letter like an H or something. And then they changed stock tickers, and we've still looked at it and caught a few pops, and it is going to get moving. So keep an eye on UOKA right there. And let's see what Riley's doing. We looked at it last night. It was looking pretty good down here in the basement. It just pulled down there. I don't know why it popped up today, to be honest. Report preliminary fourth quarter 2024 results and host update call for investors on Monday, March 3rd. So maybe they're doing something. But yeah, Riley right here, Rile is popped up 323 to 528, and it's at 452, and it never even crossed through the MACD. It just kind of bounced up there. So we'll look at it tomorrow and see if it wants to continue. And again, most of these are not getting through at the first or second time. So we'll see what Riley wants to do tomorrow and see if it can be a momentum play right there. So I'll keep an eye on that bad boy and see what that wants to do, RILY. But we looked at it last night, and Coles, KSS, that came up on my scanner today right before that small cap show. And they do have earnings coming up March 11th. So that's in the middle of March. But this bad boy is curling up and looking pretty good. KSS is Coles, and it is looking good. 1204 to 1243. It's at 1224 right now. Your 20's right there at about 1249. So just watch for that as it's getting up there. But yeah, KSS looking pretty good, I must say. So keep an eye on good old Coles right there. And that CYN, didn't that reverse split or something? I remember, yeah, it didn't reverse split the other day. And it's still setting up down here. It's not exactly ready. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, it's still just kind of setting up. It wasn't ready yet today. It's low today and it closed at 666. So there you go. It is the devil right there after reverse split, and it's closing at 666. So we'll look at CYN and see what it wants to do tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting one right there. RTC, this one is setting up, and this is one we are definitely all over, and it's popping up. It did pop up Friday, and it started to pop up today. Not as high as it did on Friday, but it did run 59 to 76 on Friday. It ran up to that 87, and right now it's at 56. So it closed a little lower than it opened right there, but still not even looking bad. So that is RTC, and that 20's up here at about 70, 71 cent area. So we'll keep an eye on that RTC, see what that's up to, and it'll get cruising. So like I said, watch it. It wants to get out of the basement, but they've been struggling lately. So we'll see if it gets up there and gets moving. CHSN is that Chanson International, and that was down 10 cents today. And I saw that. I was like, how many dips is that one going to take? Holy cow. I couldn't even believe that it took that big of a dip today. And it did take a big dip. It ran, and it did run up Friday, though, early in the morning. So it ran up to that 59 cents and tried to get over that 20. It hit it. And once they hit them, they come down. So it did do that early in the morning. Didn't really give many people a great chance to trade it. And then it pulled back. It opened at 30, got up to 36, but came down to 23, and it's at 26 right now. And yeah, that one had a huge pullback right there today. And that, yeah, it's just, I don't even know what's going on with that thing, to be honest with you. What is it? It is a China small cap, and we'll see if it's a really good dip and rip. It was trying to make a base for a couple of days and then pull back even more. So I don't know what's up with that Chanson International Holding. It's a China restaurant company. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on it because it definitely took a nice dip there today, more than I expected to see it. And CYCU, we've been watching this thing. It tried to bottom out, and then everything was pulling back. And a lot of these small caps, and this one is I considered a small cap, even though it was way up there at like $50, $60 not long ago. But now it's under $1 right now. And it did pull back. It is that shell company. And CYCU, I know a lot of people are watching it because it did have that huge dip, 137 up to 155. Then it came down to 88, and it's at 102. So we'll actually see if that 88 is that bottom right there. And I mean, they are just pulling back on Finviz. It has it low at 95 right here. So it must have pulled back in either the probably the after hours, I'm figuring, because it was up a little bit this morning, I remember. So yeah, it must have pulled back right before the market was closing there, CYCU. So we'll keep an eye on that one as well. And just a lot of disasters today, I would say, but there's always a lot of great opportunities when you get dips like this. So you know that we like to sort through and see which ones are good and what's not. ADTX is already running up there, and that's pulling back. We were trying to see if it would hold up on that 20, but obviously with everything pulling back, it pulled back. Maybe today was its bottom right there. We'll take a look at it again tomorrow, see how it looks, but it did already do a nice run for us, and that was at ADTX. And LITM, this one is getting set up, guys. So keep an eye on this. It's a Canadian mining one, the metals and mining. And yeah, it probably bottomed out today. I've been watching this one, LITM, that's Snow Lake Resources, and it got down to 41 cents. It opened at 48 and it closed at 47 right there. It does look like it tried to bottom out right there. So we'll keep an eye on LITM. It's not looking bad, so I would keep an eye for that one to try to get set up. And this ASBP, I believe, was a big dip. Aspire Biopharma, and it is that Shell company had a huge dip. I did say last night, just watch it and see if it'll have a little bounce play. And it did just bounce a little bit this morning, 262 up to 288, and then it came down to 157. It closed at 196. So it is still way down there, but it did try to bounce a little bit this morning. It wasn't anything crazy, but it did do a little bounce, and maybe it's trying to base out and bottom down here in the basement, and it's just under the line, so that would be good because then it could actually try to move back up here, ASBP, and that one would have a nice little run up because it was just up in the 14s not long ago, and it's under $2 right now, so we're keeping an eye on that. And that STEC, we looked at it last night, and we knew it was going to run. These things that get up in the top, they're monsters in the morning, and this thing just went nutty. It ran up over 300%. I know that, 92 cents to 334, and it even closed at 145. So we'll keep an eye on it in the morning. You can see, but I don't know if it's going to run up. It is up there still, so you might get a little run, but lately, um, yeah, it would probably be one of them early morning run ups for STEC, but it did pop up there for us. And DGLY, that digital ally, that thing was curling up, not looking bad. I would keep an eye on this thing for tomorrow. It's looking pretty good right there. 10. It's opened at 10. It got down to 8 and it closed around 9. And it is over 9 cents, a little over 9, and not looking too bad for DGLY trying to get set up there. And good old gold, let's see what that's up to. That is Barrick Gold Corp. And like I was saying, I thought it was topped out. They could be just pulling back to set back up, but you could tell it was topped out. You didn't want to chase it the other day. And we'll see tomorrow if it wants to roll off that MACD and be good again, and it'll be popping. So we'll keep an eye on that. And that is GOLD. And good old Fubo, FUBO, that was running today. We were looking at it last night. They do have earnings coming up on the 28th. It did run up a little bit today, and it looks like it wants to try to keep that momentum. FUBO, 384 to 429. It did close at 406. It is up over that 20, which is at 403, and it is trying to crawl up. And again, it did probably 1, 2, and 3. This would almost be like probably the fourth time it's trying to get through, and it is set up. I would keep an eye on that Fubo, FUBO, and it is getting set up right there. And I just can't spell it, that's all. But FUBO, Fubo is looking good. And Weemy, we looked at that before, and it ran up Friday, it was, I remember. And it was pulling back today. And a lot of these small cap China ones, they were setting up, and they are crazy. They're volatile. What, Weemy ran up this morning, maybe? I didn't even notice. 132 to 154. Oh yeah, that's right. It was up early this morning because I think we even mentioned it this morning. 132 to 154. It closed at 122, so it gapped up a little bit, ran up to 154, and then came down to 87. That's right. We were talking about it this morning. So it did run up this morning, and again, Finviz just doesn't show it on here. but it did run up early in the pre-market and then came back down for WIMI, and that was WEMI, and we had looked at that one before the other day or the other week, and it was way down. RETO has jumped up right there. Another one we've been looking at right here. RETO is at Reto Echo Solutions. It had run up Friday in the after hours. Then today, $1 to $1.68, but then it came way down to 46. So yeah, these are running up and taking huge dips, guys. So you got to make sure if you're in them, you're paying attention, you're getting out of them, and trying to trade these bad boys smart. ISPC, that I specimen was looking good last night, remember? And boom, there it goes. It was up today over 25%. ISPC, and it did run 239 to 303. It came down to 193 and closed at 220 right here. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It's in that channel right there, but it did run up and got over to 50. And I would say it's still trying to get set up. So keep an eye on that one. And we were looking at that last night. And also this VRAX. This one's getting set up. It's not jumping up just yet. Watch for some pullback. If it come back to like the $1.50 area for its low, it's just over that MACD. I'll look at it tomorrow. It's another one that's getting set up, but these things have to be like perfectly set up right now. Most of them to get popping when they're like this. If they hadn't popped yet in between that channel, they're getting to be. They have to wait until they get to the exact right spot. They have to be completely set up at this point. So that is VRAX and TANH, and that's part of that, like, hitting the MACD 3 times, 4 times to get through. TANH we looked at last night, up 5 cents. This one's looking good, guys, and could be a popper right there. And that's a China small cap, so keep an eye on TANH. And good old Moderna, not that they're good old anything right there, for mRNA. We looked at it last night to see what it wanted to do with all that the vaccine talk or whatever, COVID talk, whatever it was. And it did pull back a little bit today. I didn't even really see anything much more about it. So the market took a tank in Friday because they were mentioning it. And then I didn't even hear anything over the weekend nor today about it. So the news moves pretty damn fast. And like I said, there's just reaction over reaction over reaction. It's out of control right now. So it is pretty wild. And again, mRNA did pull back and it's staying under that 20. So we'll look at it. I bet they wanted to have some vaccine getting or COVID get cruising so they could have some vaccine stuff. And Pfizer was up a little bit today. And yeah, it might run up a little bit more, but I think Pfizer has to get set up 26.28 up to 26.74 and then down to 25.88. It is at 26.60, so it did run up a little bit there. And it does have some resistance up here at about 27. So that is Pfizer. So yeah, it might run up a little bit more, but nothing doesn't look like it wants to get that crazy right there. And also BNTX, this one was down and looked like it was trying to get set up. And as a matter of fact, it looks like it's going to be set up in like 2-3 weeks from now, probably 2 weeks. So we can keep it on the list, BNTX. Take a look at it and see what it wants to do then. And INO did come down, and that one was set up right there. So again, I heard nothing about vaccines or COVID or anything today, and these ones just came dipping down. So it does move very fast. Whatever the news is for that day, that's what you're going to see what's popping. And there's overreactions, underreactions, all kinds of reactions for everything going on. It's pretty wild, guys. Crazy market, I must say. And then you look at crypto, and holy cow, it's just getting destroyed with Bitcoin at 91,000 and Solana's at 139 and Ethereum's under 2,500. So yeah, they're just getting destroyed. And NIX, NIXX, let's see what Nixie's doing, Staff and Employment Service Company in the U.S. And this one pulled back there, hitting that bottom and the MACD. And let me take a look at NIXX. 209 to 274 and then pull back to 165, close out that 169. It's trying to cross through going down. It's one of them situations where it could pull itself up and it's on that bottom line right there. So NIXX, I'd have to look at it in the morning. If I had to guess right there, I would think that it's going to pull itself back up and roll off the MACD in that bottom. That's my guess. Again, it has good support right there, and that's just a look that it's given. So we'll look at it, and these are pretty volatile. So we'll have to see what it exactly wants to do there. NIXX. ATPC is one we've looked at, a Gape ATP Corp in Malaysia, and that one started to run up there today, and maybe might want to run up some more tomorrow. It went 99 to 227. It's at 141 right now. And again, it could run some tomorrow. So keep an eye on that one. More of a momentum play right there for ATPC and BREA. Let's look at that one. BREA. And that one's just sitting in a pretty good spot, but really couldn't get moving today. I think it might have moved in the after hours. It says right there. It sure did, 62 to 126. It was sitting in a good spot. It just wasn't moving today. It moved in the after hours, though, that's for sure. It closed at $1, but it did get up to 126. And keep your eye on this one, BREA, for the morning, because that could continue to move up anyway. Keep its little momentum right there from the after hours. And again, these things will do it early in the morning, so you have to be kind of careful if you're jumping in them in the after 7 a.m. If you're trading on Webull at 4 a.m., you definitely want to look at these things. So ADD, that Color Star Technology, let's take a look at that one. That one's curling up really good. It was up 7 cents. Not looking bad there. Let me see ADD. Let's see if we want to add it. 119 to 128. It closed at 116. It's not looking bad right here in that channel. Look really good on FinViz. Flattened out a little bit in the after hours, but we may want to add that to our list, ADD. So let's take a look at that. And TCBP. Let's look at that one. TC Biofarm. And let's see what that's doing right there. Recently split and just kind of sitting in that basement. It wants to curl through the MACD, but it just hasn't, I don't think. Let me see. It's barely doing it. It's trying to move. 250 to 269, came down to 224. It's at 230 TCBP. I mean, it's trying to move. It just not being able to just yet. And let's take a look real quick at which one. NIVF. Let's see what that was doing. That was up again today. And we watched this one pop up the other day. It pulled back and then bounced right back up. And I would watch this one tomorrow, NIVF, to see if it wants to continue to run right there. So could be another momentum play for NIVF. So keep an eye on that one in the morning, because that one's not looking too bad, and it recently split, still in a good spot. I know we were talking about it, and yeah, it did move. And that CDT, that was up today, looking pretty good. I know a lot of people are looking at that, and it might have bottomed out there today, and it is looking much better. Good old Conduit Pharmaceuticals. We've looked at it a million times, and that bottom probably was the other day down there at that 113. And what did it get to today? 109 it got down to today, huh? That's interesting. Yeah, dip and rip probably, and then it got right to 130. So there you go, CDT. I would keep an eye on that tomorrow. It looks like it's curling off that bottom, looking pretty good. So keep an eye on CDT right there. And let's take a look and see what else we have going on here with Z-Car. Let's see what that one's up to. Good old Z-Car. That was up a penny, trying to curl up here off that bottom. Huh, that one's an interesting one. Let me see what it wants to do here. ZCAR. It's trying to set up. I'll look at it. It does look like it's trying to do something right there. So I'll look at Zoom Car, ZCAR, tomorrow. It does look like it's trying to roll off that bottom, and at the same time it crossed through, but it's in one of them spots where it could pull itself up and roll off the MACD. So I will take a look at that one and see what ZCAR wants to do right there. And GDHG, we've looked at this small cap China one a lot, and I think this one could be trying to get set up in the right spot. It was just pulling back there, and I'd have to look at it tomorrow just to see if it's done kind of pulling back. It went from $1 down to 90. That's where it's at. So we'll see what it wants to do tomorrow. And I think the market might be a little shaky this week and a little more flat. And just from all that sell off on Friday, and then you had some dips today. Crypto's getting destroyed. So I think it's going to be a little iffy for a little bit, maybe a week or so before it can really get set up and get moving. So we could be just seeing that as well. I'm sure we'll have poppers, don't get me wrong, but overall, I'm telling you what the overall market sentiment may be for a week or so. And ANVS right here, that one's kind of just trying to set up, but pulling back. And again, it was trying to hit the MACD probably for the first time right there, and it's not even close. So, yeah, that one's pulling back and probably going to be running down there for a little while. And PBM, let's see what that's doing down here. And that one's down 7 cents, and that's pulling back as well. So, I don't think that's trying to move just yet. And CISO, let's see right here. Now, this one could be trying to curl up right here. CISO, let me see right here. Oh, let's see. CISO, that's one that you can look at 110 to 114. Its low was $1. You catch it right there. It's a beauty because it closed at 114. That one's not looking too bad right there. CISO and NEOV. Let's look at that and see what that is doing here. NEOV. That was up 5 cents, trying to bounce off that support line down here. NEOV. And we'll look at that tomorrow. 347. It did come back down to 307 and went back to 335. It's sitting on a 20. I'd have to look at it and see what it wants to do right there. And SMX is that security company, and that was down 48 cents, and that one's pulling back pretty well. And let's see what it's doing. Yeah, that one's just pulling back. We'll see when it wants to stop pulling back, and it will probably hit that bottom and the MACD line, I'm assuming, the stop. So we'll see how much more pullback you get on SMX. And PGHL, let's see, that was up a penny, and it is just a little flat right there. PGHL. 76 to 79 down to 72. It's at 75. And I mean, it's trying to. It's just got that 20 over that 82, and it's not really trying to hit it. So I'll see what it's doing in the morning. It did try to jump up today, but just didn't have anything to get moving there for PGHL. And it only had, what, 309,000 in volume. So yeah, you could see it was a little flat. MFI. A lot of people are asking about this one, down 3 cents, up 43 in the after hours. It looks like it says over here. It's not on the chart, but MFI, let me see. There you go, 67 to 148. And it did close at 130 right there. And its low was 55. So MFI, obviously, a lot of people asked about it. Of course, watch it for a momentum play. It ran up in the after hours. We already know when they run up in the after hours like this, they're mainly running up early at 4 a.m. and the wee bowlers are getting a hold of them. And then I don't know what the hell happens, but something happens to it, and then it's over. And that ATCH did go nutty today, and watch that to try to run up some tomorrow. 366 all the way up to 1319, and it came down to 497. I mean, it's still up, and it still has some potential. We'll check it out tomorrow and see what it wants to do. But yeah, it could still move up into the top. More of a momentum play, if anything. So that's what you're watching for that. CPHI, a few people asked about CPHI right here. China Pharma Holdings. I remember looking at this bad boy. It's at 25 cents right there, trying to curl up. Let's see, CPHI. 22 to 37, and it's back to 23. And again, they run up like that. I'm not so sure they want to keep on going. We can watch it, but it's resistance way up there at 30. And it did get all the way over it and then pull back. So it kind of just ran up a little. I think sometimes when they run up that much that fast, they kind of hurt themselves sometimes. Um, we'll watch it tomorrow. Look at, again, another 4 a.m.er. If it really wants to run, you're going to know in the morning because it'll be cruising already and trying to get rolling. And CHGG, Chegg, I remember we looked at this before. They had earnings today, actually. It was up 13 cents and then came down 36. On here, it looks really good. Let me see what it looks like on mine. CHGG. And it did come down 152 to 168. And it came down to 105. And it closed at 118. And it looks like it's going to pull back there. CHGG and AIRE. AIRE is airy, down 18 cents, pulling back some more. And that one's hitting that MACD. And let me see, AIRE. And yeah, that crossed through. And that one's probably pulling back 186 to 195 down to 162 right now. And Robinhood, that one pulled back. That one's actually hitting some support right there. So we'll have to see if Robinhood wants to go down anymore or if it wants to kind of bottom out and try to base itself up here. So it does look in a bullish state, but it's not going up right at the moment. But it doesn't look terrible. And if you're interested, and it's a good place to start looking at it for sure. That's HOOD, good old Robinhood right there. And let's take a look at PRPH and see what that's doing real quick. And that one is interesting. Pro phase. I remember we looked at it, it was jumped up and it pulled back. It is trying to crawl back up, guys. PRPH. I'd have to look at it tomorrow, but it does look like it's trying. I'm not promising you anything. We'd have to look at that tomorrow to confirm it. XLO, this one ran up the other day big time and then started to pull back. It's coming back to that MACD right there. It's in that channel. It could try to roll off. We'll look at it tomorrow and see if it has a chance to roll off right there. And there you go. Hold on one second. Boom. Let me see. How the hell did that even? What's going on? Hold on. Oh, hold on one second. Boom. There you go. And I think we have a special guest here. So here we go. You ready? There you go. What's happening, Zach? How are you? I just looked over and noticed you were on there. That's that's awesome. Enjoy it since the markets. Yeah. Isn't Hooters going under? I think maybe in America. That's awesome. That is awesome. Nah, enjoy it, dude. That's sweet. And yeah, dude, crypto is just a mess with all the scams and the nonsense. So we just got. I agree. That is pretty. Yup. You can say it. Okay. All right. Yeah, man. You're the man. I'll come out and visit soon and hang out. We'll get some. That's great. Nah, that's nice. And what's the prices like over there anyways? Like so you have to convert to pesos. Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, you enjoy it because that's awesome. You definitely deserve it. And you know what's so funny, Zach? I have to say, like, look at all the shit coming out with all this scam stuff. You went through the yeah, you went but like you know it's funny, you walked around, people acted like you were this big scammer, and then it comes out that you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, they didn't even have a case against you. And now look at what's going on. These dudes are physically scamming us. They're scamming each other. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's all about being positive. You don't even got to worry about that. You beat one of the greatest cases ever. I'm not gonna lie. So nah, you're a genius at marketing. I have to say, and you are a great dude. You're funny. You're entertaining for sure, and just a good dude. You could tell you have fun with it. You have to. If you don't have fun with it, what the hell? Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, and just give them some belief in themselves, and then they'll have the confidence to go ahead and do it. So I agree. Yeah, no, it's fun. All right, man. We love you, dude. You're the man. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night. All right, we'll hop back. That was a nice little treat for Zach Morris telling us what he's up to over in Mexico right there. So let's cruise on back to XLO right here, and maybe we'll do some more daytime shows soon and get things fired up. It was kind of just iffy, and now I think the market's obviously down here as we're talking about it, but we're gonna have some great opportunities. So I think it might be one of them opportunities where even if we hop on for like a half hour, 45 minutes, like you was saying. We don't, you guys know, I don't get crazy with the trades either. I mean, some people can, it's fun, but you can just pick that one that you're confident in. And I think Luis Rodriguez just does it really well. Laptop Travel does it pretty well. Not pretty well, he does it really well. And he goes through a bunch of them too. And he can trade fast, though. He's been doing it a long time. And yeah, but you stick with your style, what you're good at, and you don't have to get crazy. Like Zach Morris was just saying, you just keep it real simple. I've always been that way too, and I enjoy it. And then yeah, once you master that, if you want to get crazy, you get a little crazier, but you just do one at a time, and you just have a good time with that, and it becomes fun. And you just have to read what these charts are telling you. And again, we knew which ones have been running. We always know which ones are running. And not the mag 7's been a little flat. We're constantly just pivoting to see, hey, the penny stocks, before I said I wasn't going to trade them anymore, they start popping, you start trading them. The mag 7's just kind of flat. Options are honestly hard right now because the timing's all thrown off. So you guys know we could time everything amazingly. And I keep telling you, I've been saying it the last few weeks, it's just also the options are kind of harder because you're trying to time them out for your expiration. So yeah, it's just thrown off, and you got to pivot and just make sure that you're just trading the smart ones. But I think we might have to do that again because they were fun. That was a fun time, and we can definitely have a good time. Like I said, you only have to do it that long, and everyone can make money. So and you just keep it short and simple, have fun with it, and then boom, there you go. So let's roll through XLO, but that was pretty fun. Nice little, I just looked over and happened to see Zach up there, and that was pretty fun time. So there you go, XLO. It is down there, and again, it might bottom out and roll off that MACD. It did pop up the other day, and it does appear it might want to. So we might want to watch that bad boy tomorrow and see what that's doing right there. And FBGL, let's see what that's doing real quick. FBGL. Oh, that's that one that's just been running down. It pulled back a little bit right now. It's just that one that just started. I forgot about this one, FBGL. And yeah, it just pulled back. Maybe that's a bottom right there at 89 cents. Let's see if that pulls back anymore. And again, it's brand spanking new, but you can kind of get a good idea. And we'll definitely take a look at it and keep it on the list. It's been on the list for a couple days, of probably last week. So we'll definitely look at that. MBRX right here. MBRX. Let me pop that in here, MBRX, and let's see what that's doing. That one's just kind of pulling back to the MACD. It looks like it might have popped up here in the after hours. Oh man, I hate when I do that. Let me do this. I think I gotta hop back into the trend spider. I always mess it up. Hold on. Here we go. MBRX. That's what it is. MBRX. There it is. And yeah, that one looks really good for tomorrow, guys. I would take a look at it. It looks like it popped up in the after hours right there. 123 to 202. It's at 177, and it's looking pretty good. It did run up in the after hours right there, but it's looking pretty solid, I must say. So keep an eye on that one to continue to run up. And that RSLS is what that real reshape life sciences. So RSLS. Let's look at it. That was up today. We were looking at that, what, in the last few days, and it's still trying to crawl up there. It's not even out of the basement. It made that once, twice. So yeah, when it's not even like really curling up. I mean, it could run up tomorrow. It looks pretty good, but I'm not exactly sure. I think it's going to still set up down here, to be honest with you. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see it start popping up here because again, they're on that third time when they get to that MACD. I mean, Tesla's doing it, the big caps, even crypto's doing it. Everything, penny stock, all of them. So yeah, they're hitting that MACD a good 1, 2 times. Some of them are even going 3 and coming through on the fourth. But it's pretty across the board, and it's definitely a pattern that just kind of started up. And like I said, it's pretty clear on most of them, to be honest with you. So definitely keep an eye on that pattern right there for the moment. MNMD did pull back today down to its support line here. We'll see if it wants to come under it right there. And that's at Mind Medicine. It had run up, but it is pulling back. So that's MNMD. And let's see SLDB, what that's doing. Solid Biosciences. That was in the top. That's pulling back. I think you're going to get some pullback on that one. And that WAFU, WAFU. And this is one of them China education ones. And I think it ran around today. Let me see. I remember I popped up at one point. It did. It definitely ran 221 to 371. It closed at 310. Maybe it was in the after hours and I saw it run up. But again, look what it is, that China education one. We went through a ton of them the other day. today, and they were all setting up just like that one clue. So, and this one was pulled back 4 cents today, and boom, just got running in the after hours. And that's what you're going to see these bad boys do, including clue. And you can tell because it's just riding that line. So when it wants to run, it's just going to bounce and pop pretty good. So that's why I was saying to give you a clue on that one. It's just pulling back as it makes that big fish hook and it's hitting that line now. And that's at CLEU. And that's another one of the China education and training ones that we've been watching, but is setting up. And it was a good dip today, to be honest with you. So keep an eye on it. And Wafu did run right there. And IVDA, let's look at it. That's down 38 cents and pulling back right there. And another one, here you go. What? I mean, when it came through, it tried once. It will call that once, twice, another time. And yeah, I mean, that first time, maybe not, but one, two. And yeah, you're working on like 3 or 4 times right here. The next time it pulls back, it's going to pull back at that bottom right now. And then it's going to finally crawl through and get running. And it's clear as day. You could see it easy on the chart right there. And like I said, it's like across the board. I mean, this one's at 239. It's all mag sevens are doing a big caps. I mean, we run through everything here, and I was talking about it today on the small cap show as well, and you can definitely see it. And I noticed it when I was scanning for them on there too. You could see a ton of them, so you're just seeing that pattern. But I'm telling you, keep your eyes out for it because you kind of get a good idea if something's ready to really run. And we're definitely nailing them down now because now we're like, hey, this thing only hit that thing. This is the second time. It's not going through. And you're watching it hit it and bounce back down and take a pretty significant dip. So you don't want to be jumping in them early and they're hitting the MACD because generally they be crossing through. They look like they want to. I'm not going to lie. They're going to trick you. And then, yeah, when it gets to that third, fourth time, that's when you're going to get through and get that pop. But by that point, it has dipped down quite a bit, and you can definitely get a great buying opportunity. So just keep an eye on that and something that we were pointing out. Here we go. We'll hit our laptop travel list and we'll hit our Jolie's jams. We'll check out what you guys want to see. I don't even think we really got to look at crypto, honestly. It's just down and not doing anything. Like I said, Sol's at 141 and Bitcoin's at like 92,000 right now. Ethereum's at 2,500 finally. It moved up a little bit, and Ripple's at 232. Cardano's at 69 and Doge is at 21. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to look at. I'm not going to lie. I didn't even look at the ETF 500. I know it was hovering around 6 cents earlier to 0.006 earlier, and was kind of pulling back, and then Sol pulled back some more as I see my stock cube sit here. I obviously love this. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm on Wall Street. I sit here and just see the crypto prices all the time, but at the same time, when they're pulling back like that, you're just like, oh man, it just shows you exactly because it's accurate. The pricing is definitely accurate on it. They just did a great update, and yeah, this thing's amazing. So I definitely can see all the prices right there, and it's not even something that we want to look at, I don't think, because it's just depressing. And yeah, it's just a disaster. I tweeted out, talk about a pro crypto president, and then you had that Trump and Melania coin. I think it just kind of hurt everything. But like Zach says, it's you got all these scams happen. It's exposing a lot of nonsense, and I agree too. Let all the bullshit get pushed out, and then the dust settles, and that's why I'm saying let the dust settle. Maybe it takes a month or so, but these things will get back on track and running back up. Maybe it takes till the summertime. And we talked about this before Trump really even did anything. We said when he was got in, I didn't expect him to start cutting things this fast, but I did say, watch when they start cutting into these things, the stuff starts pulling back. I mean, they just went nuts immediately. And so it is doing what we thought it would. It's just way faster than I ever thought. I'm not gonna lie, and the timing's on everything is crazy. So yeah, and ETF is down largely because Sol is down so hard. I mean, and that's what all these run on. So all the meme coins basically run on Sol for the most part. And just remember, I said, remember Trump's kid was tweeting out like 2 weeks ago to buy Ethereum, and it was odd. I mentioned it because I was like, "That's odd," and all of a sudden Ethereum started looking great, and it was like the day after I just did like a rant about how Ethereum was like the best one last time, and how could they just let the network go down, and then the next day it just looks great, and he's tweeting out to start buying it. So I don't know, it's kind of bizarre. I'm not gonna lie. And Laptop Travel's laughing. Because, yeah, I definitely said it. Literally, it was the very next day. It was like, what the hell? And I even pointed, I was like, damn, that was weird. Did they hear me? And so, yeah, interesting things happening. But I think we just have to let the dust settle. And again, the ETF 500, you can see all these other coins are just scams. And that one's in the $1 million. And it's just a market cap range. And obviously, it's holding its weight up because, again, the supply is basically bought up. And what you're seeing with a lot of these coins, obviously you see a ton of the rug getting pulled on them. We already know that. I pointed it out. But at the same time, if a coin's not being traded and that supply's not locked up, you're seeing these bots get in there and just suck them up like vacuum cleaners, like I've been explaining. So you will see them prices dip because I watched them two coins. I never touched them, and you just see them just kind of go down, 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 and no one's even trading or doing anything. And yeah, you can just see like the coins just like disappear. It's the weirdest thing, like little tiny trades, and then it goes down even more. It's bizarre, but they definitely have these bots running in like crazy. So you got to be careful. So yeah, that's one thing that's a bonus with the ETF 500. Like Zach was saying, the supply is there's only 1 billion coins, and majority of it is pretty much locked up, bought up. So the bots can only get in to do so much damage, and they don't even pick it up because they're looking for the newer ones anyway. It's not on their algorithm. I'm sure a couple of them hop in there, but it's not like most of the coins that are just getting like crazy amounts of bots in them that are just manipulating it like crazy. So that's another good thing. And like I said, once the dust settles, once these things start running up, shit's gonna start running right up. And we all know when it's like this and everybody's in fear, it's the exact time to buy and not be afraid. So that I buy when it's like this. I kind of love it because I know it's going to be going up and we're going to be making good money on the pop. So you got to look at the opportunities and the bonuses and not just oh shit, it's red as hell, because it is. And crypto, I don't even know why it's so down, to be completely honest with you, but it is. And so, yeah, let's get rocking and rolling here. So we'll just skip crypto altogether tonight. We usually go through everything. But like I said, I don't think unless somebody wants to see something in particular, but I don't think anybody cares at the moment, since we know they're just pulled back, and we'll look at them in the morning for the pre-market show at 7 a.m. and hopefully it'll be a little better at that point. So here we go. INDO, Indonesia Energy Corp. I've watched this thing for a while. This thing used to be like mad money, like 90 something dollars at one point. I remember a couple of years ago. And I don't know what the heck happened, but it's down at like $2. I don't know if they had I don't even know. I haven't followed it that well, but I just remember it was way up there. INDO. And it does look pretty good. 279 to 284. It closed at that 283. It's bouncing off that 20. Your 50's up there at 290, and it looks like it wants to try to get set up and jump off of that 290 area. So keep an eye on that INDO. That does look like it's trying to set up. NEHC is an oil and gas, New Era Helium. And this one is sitting on that 20, just a little pullback right there today. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, just sitting on the 20, a little pullback, nothing too crazy. So keep an eye on it. It's probably just going to bounce around right there. Nothing. We'll just keep an eye on that. That IMCC is IM Cannabis Corp, and this one's getting set up, guys. I actually noticed this one today because it was on the list the other day, and I keep an eye on some. I keep an eye on them because we want to see what's setting up. And this one was curling up. Let me see what it's doing here. 219 to 222. It looks like it might have came down the after hours. I did not notice that, but it was up pretty good today. And now it's at 210. It came down to $2. and this had it closing. Yeah, ready? Finviz has it closing at 222, and then in the aftermarket, it says it came down 22 cents to $2. There you go. I didn't even notice that. Listen, again, I don't look at the numbers. I just look at the chart for the most part. And this one I knew was up a little bit, like almost all day, because I remember I looked at it, and then I guess it pulled back in them after hours. So I did not notice it. We'll have to readdress it tomorrow and see if it's a little dip and rip action. But it did pull back. We did look at that ISPC, and it ran up today. And again, look at that thing in the morning because it's not looking bad. TRSG, Tungray Technologies. This thing was up 13 cents in a pretty good spot too. TRSG, let me see. 219, and it actually came down to 204. So it looked better on the Finviz. It doesn't look that great on there. It looks a little better on the Finviz. It did crawl up. I bet it stays up in this channel right here from like that $2 range to about 215. Keep an eye on this thing. It doesn't look too bad, and it's setting up. Maybe you get a little bit of pullback. It's a metal fabrication company in Singapore, so keep an eye on it. It looks like they're up to something right here. TRSG, we might have to look at that bad boy. And GMHJ, what's that one right here? Let me see. Hold on. Is that what it says? GMH something. I. That's what it is, right? GMHI. I don't even know what I wrote down. What did I write down there? Laptop travel. If you can post it up, I'll do it. I have no idea what the hell I even wrote for that next one. What was the next one? GMHI or J? I don't even see anything. I have no idea what I wrote. Or if it just kind of disappeared. Sometimes that does happen. They get delisted there. CJJD is China JoJo drugstores. I don't remember ever looking at this one, but this is an interesting one. Started to pop up today, and it is getting set up right here. CJJD. Interesting one. Interesting letters. 141 to 190. It closed at 168. It's like right under that 50. And it looks like it wants to run up a little more, guys. So keep an eye on it. It could run up into them 180s, I think, and try to keep moving. So keep an eye on that one. CJJD. And that's in China, basically a small cap. GMHS. Is that what it was, huh? Yeah, I haven't didn't GM. Oh, that's an S. Yeah, I can't read my own writing. That's great. Thank you, Laptop Travel. Game House Holdings. There you go. It was GMHS that I couldn't figure out. And yeah, this one actually is going to be a good one too. Might not be tomorrow. Just getting set up, had a little bit of pullback right there, but it's right there on the 20, getting ready to rock and roll. So I would keep an eye on that GMHS. And let me actually make it an S so I know what the heck it is. And ZBAO, I remember looking at this China small cap not long ago, and it's been pulling back. It ran up some today, or yeah, Friday it did. Remember, it ran up Friday. And then today it's in that channel of that 20 to 50, and the 20 is at 146 or 50 is at 162, and this thing went 152 to 156. It's at 155. It looks pretty good to try to continue its way up, and it is trying to get set up to run up higher. So that's ZBAO, and that's Zybeo. I can't even say it. Technology, and LOBO, that Lobo EV Technologies we looked at last night, and it was trying to get moving off of Friday. It was more flat than anything. LOBO. And not looking bad though. It ran 144 to 150. It closed at that 150. So keep an eye on Lobo right there. And that's an auto manufacturer in China. I'm telling you, all these China small caps, they are setting up, guys. So we've been looking at them and pointing them out. CHEK, that Czech cap is an Israeli company. And that one did run up today. CHEK. 90 to 150. It closed at $1, and it did cross through right there. It's one of them ones that you have to look at early because it did run up quite a bit. And like I say, they can run up. I mean, it can run up in the morning. We have to look at it right there and see if it wants to run up some more. But sometimes when they run up too fast, too much like that, they do get that little pullback and then have to set up to run faster. You kind of like them to gradually run up or keep that momentum. That way they can keep going. So when they run up and then pull back, it's not always the best look. Not saying it can't, but it did run up right there. And CNA, that new Cannon, I remember looking at this bad boy. That's from the UK. It's a bio company. That one's just pulling back. It was just running up, but probably will stay in that channel also and stay set up right there. And CNFR, Conifer Holdings. This one runs around a lot. I know we talked about this one a few times before, and it does. It bounces around a lot. And so you can keep an eye on it. Just got into that channel between the 20 and the 50, and it's not very big. It's like $1 to $1.06. This went 105 to $1, and it closed at 101. So it's in that channel. It'll probably stay in there a little bit, and then it'll get set up to run. So that's your Conifer, CNFR, NCRA. That's Nosera Inc. And this thing's getting set up. I would take a look at this tomorrow, possibly. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. Yeah, that one looks good. 82 to 99. It closed at 92 right there. And that one doesn't look bad. NCRA. So you keep an eye on that for a little momentum play. And PRSO, let's see what that's doing right here. PRSO. Let's see what you're up to. And that's Parasso or something like that. And it is getting set up, actually. It's going to pull back. Watch for it down here in the 80s. It's at 89. Just look for it to try to pull back a little bit, and it will get set up and bounce. So you're just looking for a little pullback on PRSO, and it'll be set up pretty good right there. And that Q with the three M's, let's look at it. QMMM is QMMM Holdings and QMMM Holdings. And try to say that fast when you work for their company. Hey, this is QMMM Holdings. How can I help you? And it's in Hong Kong, so you got to say it like that, too. It's an advertising agency. It is curling up there, though. I'll say that. It is looking good. So QMMM. They must have something. They're advertising something good today because it's 71 to 81. It closed at 81 and looks pretty good to keep going. So keep an eye on that one. QMMM. And I probably could never say that fast ever again. I'm just doing pretty good with it tonight. QMMM. There you go. You grow R or yeah R. You grow, and I started with an R. UGRO. There you go. Urban Grow. Uh, that was great. That one's curling up too. UGRO. And those of you that are just tuning in, I try to read the ones that I know I can't even read because it's just pretty funny. I mean, some of these companies are crazy, and I also suffered a brain injury less than 2 years ago, so everything's a little crazy. I can't, my reading's like way off, so it's just comical. It's entertaining. I have fun with it. And again, I'm just blessed to be alive for the most part, but I'm definitely blessed that I can still do this. And you got to have fun with everything and then make it entertaining. And again, that's why me and Zach, I think, get along pretty well. And he's a great marketer, and he's entertaining as hell when you follow him. He's posting nonstop. I mean, you ever see anyone promote something so much? I mean, that's why that Farcoin got big and other projects that he did. Yeah, he's got a big following, and then the volume pours in, so that makes things go. And you just got to make sure you buy it at the right time and then sell it, and not buy it at the top because people are going to be selling it. So that's the key with these things. So you grow, that's what we're talking about. You grow, UGRO, Urban Grow right here. It's a machinery company, and it's looking pretty good actually. It's trying to curl up right here, 78 to 74. And then it's at 75. So pull back a little bit, but not looking bad. Maybe a little good, healthy pullback on that 20. So keep an eye on UGRO and GSIW Garden Stage. Let's see what this is up to because this one actually looks really good to curl up. Might be one for tomorrow. Up 5 cents today at GSIW. I remember this one ran not too long ago. And when was that? February 7th. And it is 51 to 69. And it closed at 58. And it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it did run up a little bit, but it's getting through that 50. It's right under it. I think it might run up a little more tomorrow. You keep an eye on that one, GSIW. And that KWE is that Canadian Aerospace and Defense. And we were just looking at it the other day. I know we watched it run up the other day. It's pulling back, hitting the 20. And I think this one has a little bit of setup. What did it do today? 78 down to 49 and closed at 53. So there you go. I think it does have a little bit of pullback right there. And TCTM is that another education and training one for China, that TCM or TCTM Kids. And that one's getting moving, guys. It's curling up. So there you go. TCTM. We were watching this like last week. Remember, it did run up Friday 42 to 65, and today 40 to 55, and looks really good right there. So there you go. And so boom, I'll repost that one. TSTM. You can see the chart. I just reposted it, and yeah. What a beauty right there. And again, just popping off that MACD just like we thought. And like I said, these education and training in China ones, that sector wants to go. We know. We looked at like over a dozen of them, and they were either set up or popping or doing something. So let's look at our Joe Lee's jams real quick, and then I'll go through the list, and then we'll crush through our big caps and stuff. And like I said, we'll just give crypto a little break tonight and let that dust settle because it's a mess. So here we go with Agrify, AGFY. That was down $1.18 today and pulling back. And here's another thing I noticed. So just the complete opposite of how I was telling you they need to curl through 3 times. A lot of these bigger ones and ones that are kind of like the chart looks pretty good, but they do want to pull back. They're hitting the MACD and bouncing off 3 or 4 times before you realize if they're going to come through or try to roll off. So just another thing to keep a look at because this one did it already twice and very well could do it again and then get set up to try to move, or it could pull back. So you got to really pay attention to these and again be very patient. And now that we know that we're looking at that, you don't really want to be jumping in them too early. You got to kind of wait for them to really get down there and look like they want to go through the third or fourth time, and that's when you know they're going to be ready. And honestly, you can tell down there, you're like, oh yeah, that's really a true bottom right there. Look, whereas they fool you as they're going, bouncing around and trying to hit that MACD. They look like they just bottomed out, and then all of a sudden they pull back, and so they are a little tricky right now. So that's why I'm just giving you a heads up of just be a little patient with these bad boys and make sure the ones that you're paying attention to, you just catch the bottoms of them. And again, you can always send over any that you're looking at, just shoot them over. We look at everything every night on here, and then in the mornings we do pre-market at 7 a.m. and we run through the whole market. So between the two, we always know it's running, popping, and pulling back between everything. So BLNK Blink Charging's been pulling back. Actually, I thought that bottom was down here. Honestly, February 12th, it went down to 92 cents. It came back to 98 today, but it looks like it might be trying to pull back. It got into the basement again. So we'll see if it does try to pull back a little bit more. And that Sezzle's been pulling back. We knew that ran up, and I think they have earnings. Yeah, they do. I remember saying it February 25th, which is tomorrow. So obviously we'll wait to see what that does. And that one's going to probably hit the MACD and roll off because, again, it's way over it and it's coming down and they haven't been really crossing through. They've been bouncing off 3, 4 times trying to get set back up. And then you can kind of determine, like I was just saying, if they're going to move. So this one will probably try to bounce off right there. And that is good old SEZL, Sezzle. And this Sterling's been way down and it just keeps dipping harder. This thing was over $200 and ran up for us. And right now it's at like 108. They have earnings tomorrow. So this is one of them ones that I think might try to run up off the earnings. We'll have to keep an eye and see if it will. But we'll definitely keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do. And again, it's way down here and it just got into the basement. And here's another great example. Here you go. It tried to curl through on February 11th and it bounced down. And on February 11th, I'll tell you exactly where it was. It opened at 148. We're at 108 right now. And it was looking pretty good to try to get through that day. I'm not going to lie. It's sitting on that good trend support line right there. But that 20's coming down over it, and yeah, it just hovers it and just holds it down. So just something to keep an eye on and pay attention to. But yeah, that Sterling way down, good dippage. And good old Rivian here, RIVN, that's down $1, and I think that's going to be pulling back some. And Symbotic was pulling back just a hair, but that could be trying to bottom out. We'll look at it and see what it wants to do. And let's take a look real quick at our overnighters. I'll see what's going on real fast. We'll run through these big caps really quick because most of them are pulled back there. And then we'll take a look and see what you guys want to look at. So let me know what anybody else wants to see, and we'll take a look at it. So here we go. I'll just cruise through in overnight hours. Let me see. I just saw Laptop Travel posted Nvidia and Apple are up a little bit, and then Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, and Tesla are all down, it looks like, in the overnight trading. And then your overnight trading leaders seem to be a bunch of China ones, honestly. Are they just all China, or are they just the ones leading? Because they seem like they're all China ones almost. LIGDS, I don't know if that is, but that XPEV is, EH is, BEKE is, Billy, I don't know what that is, Billy, BILI. BABA, I know that is, and MNSO is, oh yeah, wait, BABA is definitely a China. What am I talking about? MNSO and NVAX. Holy cow, are they all China ones right there? I have to assume most of them are. The NVAX is not. What's BILI? I don't even know that. Billy. That's a China one right there. And GDS, that's a China one. So yeah, I mean China, like I was saying, these China small caps and stuff are setting up, guys. And Laptop Travel saying 100. He posted it, so he definitely knows. NIVF, we definitely did it. I'll shoot through that one again for you real quick. NIVF. It was up today again, trying to curl back up. I remember I said that. And yeah, it was trying to bounce back up. Let me just take a better look at it because I kind of forget what I did say. NIVF right here. Yeah, I have a feeling that one could run back up to that 20, which is at 303 or at 242. So it did move today. What it do? It went 225 to 266. It closed at 242, and it's not looking bad again, NIVF. So there you go. The ape, we'll keep an eye on it and look at it in the morning for you. And here we go. Let's just cruise right through our SPY. That did close down 273, and that was at or $2.73, and it was at 597.21. And it does look like it wants to pull back some more. Remember last night I was saying I wasn't so hopped up about these really flying today, and you can see why. It didn't have that look, and honestly, it looks like it's just going to be a kind of a flat week, possibly. We'll see. We'll obviously know tomorrow. Apple did pop up and doesn't look bad, so Apple could run up a little bit, but it could hit that top line and pop back down. So just be careful because it doesn't. If it hits that, it don't have that much room left. Amazon, we knew was coming down. It's hitting that bottom, so let's see. It could try to bounce back off. I don't know if Amazon wants to get into the basement. It's not one that does, and when it does, it gets right out. So we'll definitely keep an eye. Google was trying to curl up, and again, it might take them 3 times to get through. It already did once, and now it was pulling back here. So I think you're going to have a little bit of pullback possibly on Google, and then it's going to get set up. And Meta came down another $15, and looks like it's going to come down some more. So keep an eye on Meta. Could possibly come down some more. So you can put that one down. And MSFT, good old Microsoft, did pull back today, but it tried to run back up. It opened at 408, got down to 399, and then it closed at that 404. So it was only down like $4. We'll see. It's sitting on that line. It wants to do something. I'm not gonna lie. And at the moment, it looks like it wants to pull back a little bit more, but it could try to pull itself back up. So we'll see. I'm not so sure it will, but we'll take a look at Microsoft. It ran up real quick the other day for us. And yeah, it just kind of dipped down today and obviously Friday when everything was. And that is Microsoft. And Nvidia is down 415. They have earnings coming up Wednesday. And I think that the whole market's hoping that Nvidia can hold it up and keep that very strong. So I hope Nvidia is doing some workouts tonight and getting pumped up for Wednesday because I think the market's going to need them to really, really help it out. So we'll see what Nvidia does, but holy cow, I'll tell you what I think right here. It's hitting that support line right now. Let me look at it real quick and I'll tell you what I think. It's hitting that support line in the 20. It's coming between. I think it might roll off, to be honest. I don't think it's going to come crossing through. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Their earnings are Wednesday. And yeah, we'll know tomorrow. I bet you we'll definitely know tomorrow. I think it's going to hold itself up and get curling up and try to like make everything turn around. That's what it looks like at the moment. We'll look at it again tomorrow, obviously, and take a better look and see what it wants to do going into it. Tesla was down another $7 and looks like it could really come down. And here you go. I mean, this one, when it came through the MACD, it tried to cross up immediately, and we don't even have to count that one. But then back here on January 21st, it tried to, and then it was trying to again, basically right here, February 3rd. And then it was just trying to on the 19th. And now it's going to try it. And probably this time is when it gets through. But you got some major pullback. And like I said, they're taking three, four times. And you even have Tesla doing it. Kind of one of the ones that showed me the pattern that jumped out to me. And then I just started noticing it all over the place. Penny stocks, crypto, this, that, everything. And I was like, okay, well, that's pretty easy to pick up on. And yeah, we've been pretty much noticing it right now. So that's what we're looking at. So we don't want to be jumping in things too early when you know they're going to be pulling back like that. AMC has their earnings. What's that, tomorrow, AMC? Yeah, February 25th. So AMC is tomorrow. And another one over the MACD. They've been liking to curl off of it lately. So we'll see what it wants to do. It's in that channel and it doesn't look that bad. GameStop was down $1.42. Looks like that could come back down. And again, that's over and it's hitting the MACD and they've been bouncing up and down. So it could stay up there tomorrow. Chewy was down a little bit. That looks like it's pulling back down. It's about to hit that support line, but could come back down to 30. It's at 34.46. And that Unity was down $1. It popped up the other day on them earnings, and it's pulling back. I don't. It's just kind of sitting there. I'd watch that Unity and possibly could pop back up tomorrow. So we'll look at it. And yeah, Tesla. I'm telling you, that thing does. What did you say? 210 level. Um, I would let it get to the 275 area first. But yeah, it does look like it wants to come down. I'm not going to lie. So Tesla does look like it's coming down. And so we'll keep an eye on Tesla, see if it is dipping harder. And so there you go with them bad boys and Chewy Unity. Netflix, that was pulling back $14. Remember, it was over $1,000. Looks like it's going to come down a little bit more right there for Netflix. And let's see what else. AVGO, that's been pulling back another $10. And I think it's going to pull back some more, guys. So keep your eye on this thing. If it could pull back, again, we could have put this thing straight the hell down. We knew it was pulling back and possibly more tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. MU pulling back $3. Could pull back a little bit more right there. And TSM, that was pulling back as well, and it was down 651. And again, these things, they've all tried to curl up there once or twice. So we'll keep an eye and see if they may not get through this next time either. They may still be down. And that's why I'm thinking that the market could just kind of run a little sideways. And that SMCI looks like it's pulling back. It's hitting that support down there around 50. And I don't know if it's going to really hold it up. And good old AMD did pull back a little bit. And that one was actually trying to run. We'll see if it can bounce off tomorrow. If not, it's going to definitely pull back down here to like that 105 area and then really have to get set up to move. So that is AMD. We'll keep an eye on that one as well. And QCOM, that was pulling back 433, and we thought it was. And it did come down pretty good between Friday and today. INTC, let's look at good old Intel real quick. And that was down only 60 cents, but it was in the top and pulling back a hair as well. And PayPal right here, PYPL. Remember, we were saying this thing was trying to get set up. This was another one I noticed it on, to be honest with you. And it tried to crawl through the other day. It kind of jumped out at me on the 19th when I saw it. And I knew it was going to pull back. And I'm like, that's interesting. But but now it's trying to curl through like the third time it looks like. So we'll keep an eye on PayPal because that could be a good setup right there. Good old snow came down big time. Looks like it's going to come down some more. So keep an eye on that. Maybe tomorrow to come down some more right there. And Dell, Dell, if I could spell it, that was down 346. And it looks like it could come down to that 110 area, and we'll have to see if it can stop right there. So keep an eye on Dell. PLTR, that was down $10, and that looks like it's coming down. Sophie was down a little bit, but that looks like it's pulling down as well. So you definitely have some pullback here. Mara is down big time. They have earnings coming up, and it's going into the basement right now. So they have earnings on the 26th, and Mara's going into the basement. We'll keep an eye on it. And RIOT, good old Riot, that pulled back, and I think they did have earnings today, didn't they? Yeah, they did, and it's all green and it's pulling back. And it looks like it went up, and Riot's just pulling back with all this nonsense. And it was trying to get curled through it. It tried to once, and that was twice, and it rode the line. It was really trying, and it couldn't do it. So I would assume next time it might. So yeah, I'm telling you, all of them are doing it right there. MSTR, that's down $16, and that's pulling back right there. So that's going to have to get set up and could come back down all the way down to here to like the 229 and retest that 200 day. So they are getting smacked down for sure. CLSK's down as well, and that's also pulling back. And then you got Coinbase pulled back 831, and that's way down as well. It's also hitting that support line right there, but I'm not so sure it's going to bounce, but we'll keep an eye and see if it wants to coin. So I'll look at it tomorrow. And again, I'm assuming with crypto being destroyed, it's pulling back, and so is DJT, and that one's going into the basement. And fun doesn't look so fun anymore. It looks like it's getting hurt and it's pulling back. So yeah, this whole entire market's getting destroyed. I'm not gonna lie. It's insane what's going on. Mountain though, I think it bottomed out finally. So guess what? We might have to look at this one. MTN, they do have earnings coming up March 10th, and it has tried to curl through already. Here we go. One, two, and we'll say three. And this next one's going to do it. Yeah, there you go. MTN, good old Val. Remember, we were looking at it, and I was super early on it. And again, the timing is just way off. Options are just really hard right now. And yeah, but now it's getting set up. And I think Friday was the bottom finally at 156. You're at 158. So you might want to keep an eye on MTN. Mountain finally is looking better. And again, 4 times to curl through. There you go. It's across the board. This thing's 158 right there. So you're not talking penny caps or penny stocks only or just crypto. It's everything. Tesla, all of them. So just keep an eye. But that's MTN. And let's look at McDonald's because that was up today, and it looks like it is trying to roll off the MACD. And again, it's the opposite. If they get over it, they come down, they start rolling off like 3 times. And then you got to see after that, some of them start to really stay up, some of them come back through. So you're getting that 3-pop look on everything going up and down. So keep an eye out for it. And Boeing's looking a little better right here. It was over. It did cross down. We'll have to look at it. It looks like it might be trying to pull back a little bit as it gets set up for Boeing. And that one, like I said, that could have like a week or so to set up. So I do think we have some time to set up. And space was down. That thing's been a disaster. I think they have earnings coming up the 26th. So that is on Wednesday right there. And yeah, that SPCE has just been down and a disaster for the most part. And let's look at IBM because that pulled back. Well, that was up 39 cents. It was down today. I remember seeing it. That actually is trying to hold itself up, but I'm not so sure it can. They had something in the works, guys, that was looking good, IBM, and it's struggling to keep itself up. And I think this market's going to drag it down, and it didn't really want to come down. So IBM was just trying to get set up to run, and I think you might get some pullback on it. And here we go. Disney was up, and I think Disney might be one that tries to run up here. But again, it's curling up, and it had that like hardcore curl up, almost like a W right there. So I'm not so sure it's ready to blast off. And Oxy, these guys, hold on, OXY, I forget. That was down today. Yeah, that was pulling back a little bit. And ExxonMobil was up. I was going to say they were like one was up, one was down. I couldn't remember. ExxonMobil's looking pretty good, guys. So keep an eye on that one, ExxonMobil. And let's look at Nike right here, and then let me know what you guys want to see. Nike's up. Oh, that one did want to pop up, and it did. Holy cow. Nike did blast off right there. So, Nike, look at that tomorrow. You might get a run on Nike going up. And that DXYZ, that definitely pulled back today. I did see that. And that's another one has tried one, two, three, and bounced off hard. So, the fourth time it'll get through. So, yeah, it's like everything right there. And there's your big caps. And let me take a look and see what you guys want to see. Um, Here we go. Just pop them up there and I'll go through real quick. And let me just read what's going on here. Tesla, yeah, I agree with that one. And either the market will bounce back with Nvidia's earnings, or it could take a major hit. Luis Rodriguez, I can't disagree with you any on that, because it's exactly that's what I'm saying. I hope Nvidia is doing some workouts right now, because I think the entire market is relying on Wednesday. It's going to be major, honestly. It really is. And I'm not so sure. It looks like I said, I think we'll know tomorrow, but it's like a coin flip, guys. It's so crazy. This market. It's insane. So I'm just letting you know what it looks like. And, I just tell you what it looks like at the moment. And we go from there. That Billy, the overnight chart, here you go. You guys can take a look at that one. And it is a China stock. They do what? Online gaming and AI video games. So it was surging in the overnight hours at BILI. And take a look at that. We did do the NIVF and we checked that out. And the GSIW, yeah, that chart was looking really good right there. And let's look at BABA and BIDU, Luis Rodriguez, and see what they're up to. BABA was down $14. I think that one might get shorted down, huh? BABA is coming down right there, I would say. That looks like it is coming down a little bit at the moment. And let's look at BIDU. BIDU. If I could type it in, it would be cool. BIDU down 341. And this is another China one that does look like it's dipping down. I remember you asked about it last night, and it's in that channel. I mean, 9170 to 9225, down to 8678, and it closed at 8750. And that channel's what, 8752, and the 20 comes up here to like 91. It went over it a little bit, but honestly, it looks like it's pulling back under that 50 right there. Luis Rodriguez is what it looks like to me at the moment anyway. So that's what it looks like. We'll look at them tomorrow if you want. I hope you don't have call options on that anyway. And because it does look like it's coming down. NCRA, did we even look at that? I think that was on your list, right? I'm pretty sure. You're posting the thing. I just didn't remember what I said, but yeah, that one is looking really good right there. So check out that chart, because that does look good. And we looked at the GMHS because I didn't know what it was. And that IMCC in the after hours is at 222 or 220ish. So it was up. It wasn't looking bad right there. And let's see, IP. Let's look at that bald piggy. Let's look at IP right here. International Paper Company. Let me see what that's up to here. And that one's just kind of pulling back. You might have some dippage on IP right here. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, IP looks like it's going to be dipping down. International Paper. So that's what that looks like right there. And let's see what else is going on. Kim wants to see King Sam. I'm sorry, Kim. What the fuck am I looking at? King Sam. I'm sorry. It says JACN. Is that a coin maybe? Because I don't really recognize it. And there's a coin label under it. So yeah, I think that's a coin right there. And I'm not gonna pull up that thing, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a coin right there. Let's see. Doom, doom, doom. Let me see what's going on here. Boom, boom. Somebody mentioning benefited much from I swear to God, there's these stupid freaking post like these bot things like follow this person and they don't even follow the stupid I mean, it would be nice if they tell you to follow them and they follow. They don't even follow the stupid person. It's just like complete spam and bots. It's crazy. It drives me nuts. But that's what I was just reading too. I'm like, really? This is what I'm reading right now? GNLN. Here we go. Let's look at that one. We've been looking at that one, Bruce Love. So let's take a look at it. It's still in the basement, and this one's going to have a little time right here because they all been taking their time to set up. 74 to 83. It did run up in 79. It actually doesn't look too bad today. It's making that big curl up, and we'll see. See if it can move up a little bit more tomorrow. It is setting up, I'm not going to lie, but just be careful. It may bounce around as it's curling up to that MACD line. We just know they do a lot. And that WAFU, we looked at that education and training one, and it did pop up. And I was saying, let me see, I forgot what it did. I know it ran up in the after hours, and I was saying maybe it can run up early tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. TMDX, let's see that one, Luis Rodriguez, and see what is that one? TMDX. Transmedics Group. Did we look at this the other day? I forget. It sounds familiar. Earnings are coming up on Thursday, and honestly, and then here you go with the opposites. Like I said, oh, this one did curl through though, real quick, but pulled itself up. So I could see it doing that back in January. But yeah, it just keeps coming down and rolling back up. It looks like it wants to roll up tomorrow. TMDX. It doesn't look bad right there. I would have to say it does look like it wants to run up. And what's this? The former head of the FDA Drug Center joined Pfizer as chief medical officer. Oh, wow. What do you know? Oh, a little kickback that is, huh? What do you know about that? So there you go. The former head of the FDA Drug Center just joined Pfizer as the chief medical officer. I wonder if she has any ins for the FDA over there. She might have been getting outed too, so who the hell knows? But there you go with that. And the Trump administration effort to rein in spending and scrutinize federal agencies needs to be done. Oh, yeah, Jamie Dimon, he was talking today. I know that. So if that's what this is from, yeah, Diamond added, why we're spending the money on these things? Are we getting what we deserve? What should we change? Diamond said, it's not just about the deficit, it's about building the right policy and procedures in the government we deserve. Diamond said, if Doge overreaches with its cost cutting efforts or engages in activity that's not legal, the courts will stop it. I'm hoping it's quite successful, he said. So yeah, Jamie Dimon was talking today about all that. Like I said, I assumed it was going to be going down. We knew it was going to happen, but I think it might be getting approached a little bit crazy myself. And I'm all about, cutting all that waste and doing it. But you got to kind of not ease into it, but you can't be getting crazy with it either. So it definitely you got too many reactions going on in the markets. It's really screwing it up. And Trump's one of them guys that he's all about the market doing well. So that's why I don't understand. And crypto, he's supposed to be pro crypto, and I'm looking at Bitcoin at 92,000 right now. So I have no idea. And Sol's at 139 right now. So it is crazy. Not very pro crypto right there. And that MFI looks like it's just pulling back at the moment. I know we looked at it. Oh, wait, is that one that bounced up in the after hours and it didn't say it on here? Yeah, that was the one. MFI 67 to 148 and it's at 130. And yeah, look at this to try to run up in the morning as well, but it did run up there today. So you're going to have to look at it for a momentum play there for MFI. And that HIMS, that did come way down. And again, that thing was, remember, we were looking at this, it'd run up. We had it from like way early. And it doesn't look terrible, but it was way at the top. And here you go, guys. Remember, I was telling you it has that look. It had the earnings today, right? February 24th, and it pulled back. And it's still I mean, it was still up 203. It did pull back in the after hours, I guess. Let me pull up the chart here in the after hours. So, yeah, it went 49.24 up to 55, and then it pulled back to 40. It closed at 41.98. And again, it was looking pretty good up there. It just come out of the top, but it doesn't matter what they're going to do. When you have that look, earnings can be as green as can be, and it's pulling back. And that's exactly what HIMS did. So it did pull back there. And I bet they destroyed their earnings, to be honest with you. So Um, it says surprise 10.838 million. So I don't know what the surprise was, but it's all green. I never look at this stuff, but you can just tell when they're getting pulled back and when they're going up. I think I kind of have a better idea right there. And yeah, so and then Jamie Dimon right there and Icon. There you go, ICON Barber. I couldn't remember which one you asked. I knew it was one that we've been looking at. Holy cow, I didn't even notice that today. Take that big old dip. That was like in the perfect spot right there at that 22. Oh man, these things are just getting ridiculous right now. I'm not gonna lie, it's insane. 29 down to 23, closed at 25. It was right there. I mean, all I need to do is jump up like a penny, and it had it. It was gonna be a home run. And now we're gonna have to see this thing get set back up in the bottom down here. It does look like it tried to move up a little bit in the after hours, but nothing really crazy. We'll look at Icon tomorrow, but yeah, that one. And that one should have got moving there on February 20th, back last Thursday. And then Friday just destroyed that thing. I'm telling you, that thing was perfect Thursday, and Friday was not a good day for it. All eyes are on SMCI tomorrow to see if they meet the 225 deadline to file their Form 10K with the SEC or risk being delisted. Is that tomorrow? I forgot all about that, Luis Rodriguez. That happened a while ago, and I remember they had postponed it. And so, yeah, that'll definitely be an interesting one. It's hitting that support line, too, so I think they will. I think they definitely file. You know, you said Mark has priced in 80% chance they file. Yeah, I think they get filed up right there. And let's see what else is going on. Jay Birdie right here has a couple. Let me see what they are. I don't even know any of these. What the heck are these guys? Are they even OTCs or something? I don't even know. Hold on. I gotta see if I can pull any up. Let me see. Let me look on mine real quick. HLLK. Yeah, these are OTCs. What's that? Hallmark, did it say? Hallmark Venture. That's an OTCer? I didn't even know. Um, Let me see. Hold on. Let me get this thing pulled up. It's seeming to have a little problem with Hallmark. So let me see. HLLK. It doesn't want to pull it up at all. PDGO. There, that one pulled up, and that's an oil and gas one. I really can't tell what that's even going to do. TONR, that I could never tell you what that's going to do either. It's just jumping around like crazy, very small prices. And GBUX, it's having a hard time pulling that one up. Yeah, OTCs are not my specialty, Jay Birdie. Some of them I can tell, but others are just really, really tough. I just really can't tell. So. Oh, here's GBUX. This one I could tell is kind of pulling back here. You can look and see if it pulls off that 20 at about 450. And again, when they're in like the small pennies, they're hard to tell. This one's at 560 something. So yeah, this one might pull back a little bit more and try to roll off. It opened at 4 or 752 today and came down to 525. It's at 564. So there you go with them OTCers. And MSTR, yeah, that thing's just pulling back right there. And let's see what else we're looking at right here. Um, Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Let me take a look and see. Dim, ba boom. CDT. We definitely looked at that one already, man. And Conduit Pharmaceuticals. I know that. Is trying to curl up right there. Is looking pretty good. So yeah, I think that's pretty good right there. And IVDA. I know I put that on the thing, and that was probably the last ones I remember. So I think we probably got to everything. Let me just scroll down and make sure I didn't miss anybody. And I think we got everything right there. Let me see. Anyone add anything here? VALE and Wolf. Let's look at them bad boys. VALE, Val. And that's coming out of the top. It had its earnings. When was that? Yesterday? The 20th. Actually, no, they were before. Looked like it was yesterday. VALE. And yeah, Val looks like it's coming down, VALE. And let's see what Wolf is going to do. And maybe it just comes back down to this trend line here at 970 some. It's at 997, but we'll see if it comes down. That's VALE. And Wolf, WOLF. WOLF. And that one's just kind of pulling back to that 20. which is at around $6. So them two appear to be kind of pulling back at the moment. And Nokia, let's look at that. That's NOK, I believe. Nokia, yeah. And that one had run up at the top and looks like it's trying to pull back. It is hitting the MACD. So we'll see if it can hold itself and roll off along with the other ones, but they're pulling back to come there. So we'll have to look at all three of them to see if they're going to roll off the MACD. And boom, let's see. We looked at that one this morning. And let's see, Tesla, we talked about that and all them guys. We got to. And I think we did get to everything right there. I'm pretty sure. Let's go ahead and just see if there's anything on the scanners real quick. And I'll jump over to Stock Twits and see what's trending. It's probably all red, I'm not going to lie. But let's just take a look and see what's here. NVIDIA obviously trending, and we did talk about a PLTR. How about that YYAI? We were early on this guy. We had talked about this down when it was, I mean, I was early because I know I posted about this thing in like January or something, and it was way down there trying to get set up. And then today it ran up to like 100, over 100%. It ran up to like 191. So we were looking at it way down there, and that's at YYAI, that Connex Sports or something. And it did take a little time, but it ran in that ATCH. Look at it tomorrow. It could run back up. ADTX was pulling back, and that CNEY was pulling back a little bit. Lucid's been pulling back. And what's this PEPG thing? That looks like it was running up today. Let's take a look at it. PepGen, they had earnings, it looks like, today. And yeah, exactly. Like this thing had been way down, and you could just tell it would. We weren't looking at it, but you could see it would have popped up on the earnings. I think I'm kind of getting a good idea with the earnings just off the look at the chart. I don't think the earnings mean anything, to be honest with you. It's just where it's placed at on the chart, 100%. DGLY, keep an eye on that. We went through it tonight, and that's looking good. That NU took a big dip, and we'll look and see if that wants to get moving again. And that FXI, remember we said them China large caps were coming down. It is. And that's why these small caps are going to get cruising. That WNW, that was moving. And Foxo, wait, that Fox was moving this morning. FOXX, we were looking at that, and that was moving. BBAI coming down. That RETO was moving up. Let's see. Ford, this thing's trying to get set up right here. Keep an eye on that bad boy. Ford. Holo is pulling back a little bit. We'll have to look at it. And then computer hardware, and quantum, whatever you want to say. RGTI and that crew, they weren't ready. I've been watching them, but they're just not ready yet. And let's see what else. That MLGO was pulling out of the top. That had run up massively. B hat we looked at was kind of pulling back there. So yeah, nothing real crazy that we haven't seen. That's for damn sure. And let me just see anything else over here. And that PEPG, that PepGen we just talked about. G Sun ran up. Didn't we look at that last night? I forgot. That thing was run up today, and we looked at that last night. What else? I know we looked at this ATPC. That used to be on Laptop Travels list. And that PITA, we were looking at this not long ago. Look at this PITA. I'm telling you, we're like 2 or 3 weeks early. I've been going through the list from like 2 or 3 weeks ago just for that reason. And PITA got running today, and we were definitely looking at that. That was that Harambe Electric one. And that one was moving up there today. ORIS, that was trying to get moving. We were looking at it last night. And SXTC, that one's a great China small cap. That always moves when they start moving. And this one popped up today. It was up over 100%. We should have looked at it last night, to be honest with you. That China Pharmaceuticals, we looked at it before. It was way down here. Hasn't split ever since. It was in like the 30-cent range, and it ran up today to like 98. So it got cruising there, SXTC. And let's see if I see anything else right here. That NIXX is pulling back. We looked at it earlier. Oh, Logic Mark, that thing's still down there trying to get set up. And like I said, they're just taking their good old time. And let's see what's happening over here on the stock twits real quick. And Solana at 141 way down. Hims, Riot, we already looked at. Marin, MicroStrategy. Tem, I don't know what TEM is. Let's look at that. Is that Temu? No, I'm just kidding. Tempest AI. And That thing's pulling back. It's trying to hold itself on the 20. It looks like it had earnings. Was that today? Yep. And that thing pulled way back in the after hours. Bitcoin's way down. BTC's down. ATCH was up. And that RCAT, like I said, we never looked at our cats, but we can do it real quick. RCAT was way down. It is going to get set up, but it is pulled back, just like I was saying, them computer hardware ones. JAGX was pulled back today. CTNT, the Cheetah was down just a hair. And the Lion LGHL was up a little bit. It actually popped up today, up to that line right there. So yeah, the Cheetah or the Lion got moving today a little bit, and that was on the list last night to be moving, and 16 to 18, and it closed at 16. So there you go. And I would say that's just about everything that we looked at, we're going to look at. And yeah, the market, I think, is getting taken a beating. And I think it's going to rely on the video Wednesday. And I'm not so sure how great it looks like. Our news stories say Asian stocks decline after U.S. pressures China. Asian shares slide on U.S. curbs on U.S. curbs on China. Euro gives up gains. Nvidia stock has gone nowhere for months. What can give it a jolt? And Trump teases economic development deal with Russia. I don't know what that is. And Nasdaq falls more than 1%. So there you go. That is your news stories. We'll be back at 7 a.m. for pre-market. We'll go through our laptop lowdowns and our Jolie's jumpers from Asian Jolie, and we'll look at crypto. Maybe it'll be popping up a little bit, hopefully, because it's definitely down there quite a bit. And we'll see what's going to be popping. We'll go through our SPY big caps and see what looks good. So there you go, everybody. I'd say that's a pretty good market review. Appreciate everybody hanging out and listening. Zach Morris checked in. That was nice of him. And Luis Rodriguez just said on CNBC today, they talked about China stocks, and some hedge fund guy said that next week the talk is going to start for a potential stimulus, very early stage. And you know what? You're absolutely right. That they teased that Doge giving the 5,000, and I have a feeling that's what's going to be. They pulled these things way down, and I could definitely see that happening, Luis Rodriguez, where they give out like $5,000 to every taxpayer, and they're going to do it that way too. You're going to be a taxpayer, and so if you didn't file your taxes last year, you're probably not going to get it. And so yeah, I have a feeling that's exactly what you're going to see, and they're going to do it because it's pretty much tax time right now, and they're due, so they could do it, and you could get your stimulus that way, where they send out a check one way or the other. They could definitely do it somehow, and I have a feeling you could definitely see that as well, and that will pump the market. Just remember when COVID happened and they started giving out money, the market went apeshit because everybody just starts putting it right in. So they know people will just dump it right into the economy. And the best time to do it's really, I mean, April, May, right before summer, you get it cruising. Remember, I kind of think that ETF 500 and stuff will be rocking and rolling in the summertime. I think it could be changing your life in the summertime, to be honest with you. And that FOXX, there you go, that Fox, that was up 73 cents and looking great. So keep an eye on that, guys. You're right. Laptop travel, that's looking good and not finished. So keep an eye on that. And there you go. I would say that's a pretty good market review. And again, let me know if you want to see anything tomorrow. In the morning, we'll be on at 7 a.m. to crush this market, see what's going on. And we do. We find what's going to be popping, and we're extra patient right now, especially knowing that little pattern where they take a couple times to get through. But just knowing that is key, guys, because we're not jumping in them early and watching them get pulled down on us. So it's definitely a good thing to keep an eye on patterns like that and know what you're looking at, because it can definitely save you. And if everyone gets 5,000 from Doge, everyone will sell it for the cash and then crash crypto and inflate all prices, although the market might get a shot in the arm. Yeah, I think so. If they send Marty, aka Martini, that's funny because I when I was a chef back in one of my first chef jobs. I worked with a dude. His name was Marty. We used to call him Marty Martini, and he was a drinker for sure. And that just reminded me of him. He was an awesome dude. He was hilarious, and he made amazing soups too. That dude was cool as hell. And if they send you 5K, it'll just help pay your tax bill. You're not kidding. I get a crazy tax bill too all the time. It's fucking nuts. Luckily, having kids helps out a little bit, but I mean, Jesus, the tax bills are insane. So there you go, guys. And that is a market review right there. And like I said, we will be back at 7 a.m. for our pre market and our Jolie's jumpers and our laptop lowdowns. Hopefully, crypto looks much better. I don't know how it can look worse, but I guess it can. And we'll see what the market's going to do for us and what's going to be popping and what's going to be our best opportunities there. So, thanks everybody for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. And again, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So, always do your due diligence. Thanks, Laptop Travel, Profit Logics, Louis Rodriguez, Barbara, Austin, Bongpri Chan, and Richard right there and Marty. How are you, Marty, aka Martini? And opinion unpopular. Terrence is here, Terrence Brown, and we have here Hiram Soto. I believe that's how you say it. If I butchered your name, I apologize. And there was a bunch of people that hopped on. Obviously, when Zach hopped on, we appreciate him hopping on, and he also gave you a little insight on what he looks at. So there you go. And again, maybe we'll get on and start trading, just popping them out in the morning time as the market's opening. Because again, you don't have to get crazy, but you just have to know what's happening and pick the right ones. And there you go. That's all you really have to do, honestly, is focus on the right ones. You guys have seen that we did it. We literally just did it this week with I forget which big caps it was. It wasn't UPS, well, Elf and whatever the other one, and Microsoft. I forget Elf and something, whatever it was. My brain's fried. But anyway, we definitely did it, and we do it every day. So we continue to just focus on what's going to be set up and let the charts tell you what's going to be happening. And even last night, we weren't so convinced that it was going to be a popping day today, and it surely wasn't. That's for sure. So there you go, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will catch everybody at 7 a.m. So have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the morning.